What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, and we're back in Brawl. In this one we got Grakmaw, Skyclave Ravager. Grakmaw, 1 black and green for a Hydra Horror. Enters with 3+1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another creature controlled dies, if it had a +1 counter, you put a +1 counter on Grakmaw. And when Grakmaw dies, create an XX, where X is the number of +1 counters on Grakmaw. So even if your opponent has removal, it replaces itself, and it can, if your opponent is killing your other things instead, well, this thing just gets bigger. So pretty sweet card all around, and Golgari is a very fun color combination. We got lots of nice kind of +1 counter synergy, but not quite enough to go all in, but definitely enough to build a deck around Grakmaw. So that's what we're doing here. Swarm Shambler, 1 mana, 1/1, enters with a +1 counter on it. Whenever your opponent targets your creatures with +1 counters on it, you get a 1/1 insect token, and you can pay 1 to put +1 counters on the Swarm Shambler. Vastwood Fortification is instant speed to put a +1 counter on target creature, or you can have it come down as a tapped green source. So the versatility on this is pretty fantastic. Heartless Sack gives us some removal. Definitely need something that can scale up in Brawl, and Eliminate doesn't really cut it for me unless you're running lots of removal. But since we're a little bit light, Heartless Sack I think is the removal of choice. Skyclave Shade, 2 mana 3/1 with kicker, can't block. If it's kicked, it enters with 2 +1 counters on it. Whenever land enters under your control, if it's in your graveyard and it's your turn, you can cast it from your graveyard this turn. So that's pretty sweet. Essence Symbiote. Like I said, the +1 counter synergy is a little bit light to make a full list, so we're kind of leaning towards the Mutate to kind of give us some of that. And you can get that with Essence Symbiote is going to help you put counters on things every time you mutate. Gnarlid Colony, 2/2 for 2. Each creature who has you control the +1 counter has trample, and you can kick it for 5 mana to have it come down with 2 +1 counters on it. So it's okay. Inscription of Abundance is a pretty sweet new card here. 2 mana, instant speed. You can kick it for additional 3. It's got 3 modes on it, like all these inscriptions that we've seen so far. And if you kick it, you can basically choose all 3 of them if you want. So you put 2 +1 counters on a creature. You can have target player gain X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures they control. Or you can have target creature you control fight target creature you don't control. So the nice thing about this, if you kick it, these go in order. So you'll put the counters on your creature, you'll gain their life, and then you'll have it fight something on your opponent's side. That's pretty sweet. Scavenging Ooze, of course, goes in any green list and puts counters on it, so it's fantastic synergy. Wildborn Preserver, 2/2 flash reach. Whenever non-human enters, you can pay X to put additional +1 counters on the Wildborn Preserver, which is great in Brawl, because sometimes you'll just have a 4 mana open, but you'll have a 3 mana creature or something you want to play. Well, you can just pay your 3 mana for that creature, and with that leftover mana, you can sink that into the Wildborn Preserver and start putting counters on it and growing it, and getting all your counter synergy on. Hagra Constrictor, 3 mana, enters with 2 +1 counters on it. Each creature you control with a +1 counter has Menace. That's pretty sweet. Murderous Rider, of course, just good removal. Oathsworn Knight is a 3 mana, enters with 4 +1 counters on it, and attack each combat available. And if it's dealt damage while it has a +1 counter, prevent that damage and remove a counter from it. So just to be clear, the way this works, if you're not familiar, it's not like Pelucanos. This one, actually, if it takes, say 10 damage, and it has 4 +1 counters on it, you prevent the 4 damage and you remove just 1 single +1 counter. So it'll still be basically a 3/3. So that is pretty cool. Garruk's Harbinger gives us Hexproof from black and some card draw as a 4/3. Pretty cool. And we are running Garruk Planeswalker as well. Glowstone Recluse, when it mutates, it gets counters on it. 2 counters, that's pretty cool. And has reach for when that might be relevant. Oran-Rief Ooze. Obviously, you guys might have seen this in my early access build. Still working on a more refined best of 3 version, so that's coming along nicely. And it fits in very nicely in here. 3 mana, 2/2. When it enters, we put a +1 counter on a creature you control. So you can choose itself, which is most likely what you're going to be doing with this. And whenever it attacks, you put a +1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1 counter already on it. Pridemalkin, kind of similar to the Gnarlid Colony, where each creature you control the +1 counter on it has trample. It is a 3 mana 2/1. And you put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Dirge Bat here is a mutation here. 4 mana, 3/3 with flash flying. Mutate it for 6. Whenever it mutates, destroy a creature or a planeswalker an opponent controls. So we're a little light on actually hard removal, so we're kind of leaning more towards the creature route, which fits in nicely with Grakmaw, because we want lots of creatures out and things like that. So Dirge Bat gives us some removal and a creature at the same time. Insatiable Hemophage is a nice cheap way to mutate. 3 mana to mutate, or 4 mana as a 3/3 Death Toucher. Skyclave Shadowcat. Card's not super great, but I think in this list it could be pretty sweet. 4 mana, 3/3. Pay 2 to sack another creature to put a +1 counter on the Skyclave Shadowcat. Whenever a creature you control with a +1 counter on it dies, draw a card. So it's 4 mana that can potentially draw you cards and help put counters on things. It's pretty decent. So Garruk, of course, gives us a 3/3 trample on some of our creatures. So we have lots of ways to trample through for damage, which is nice because you can put lots of counters on things, but if your opponent just chump blocks them, that's kind of annoying. You want to make sure you actually can put those counters, all those counters to good use. And it can help you go wide making 3/3 beast tokens. And of course the -7 is going to be pretty crazy. You can just keep flooding the board with creatures. Gemrazer, of course, just goes good in any green list. Destroy artifacts or enchantments. Reach as well. Migratory Greathorn just kind of helps us dig for lands. We do have some pretty nice top end here, and some of our X-Spells would be nice to have lots of lands to actually maximize our value. So Greathorn gives us some additional options and fits with our kind of mutate sub-theme. Questing Beast, of course, just a good card. Nissa of the Shadowed Boughs, a new card here. She's pretty sweet. Not broken like the last Nissa, but still pretty powerful in her own right. Landfall trigger, we put counters on her when her land enters. +1 to untap a land you control. That's pretty cool. Kind of gives you a little bit of a ramp potentially. Otherwise, you can just have a land become a 3/3 elemental with haste and menace until end of turn. That's pretty cool. The nice thing about end of turn is you don't have to lose it to your opponent shattering your sky the next turn or something like that. And you can -5 to put a creature card with mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control onto the battlefield with +1/+1 counters on it. So it doesn't work great with our X spells, but we still have plenty of other creatures, mutate creatures, questing beasts, and whatever like that we might want to get back. Palukinos, of course, enters with 6+1 counters on it. That's pretty sweet. And escapes with 12+1 counters on it. So just fantastic card all around. And with the escape, works really well if your opponent's just running just tons of removal. And like I said, we're kind of leaning on the creatures to act as removal for us. So this can kind of fight creatures on your opponent's side and then just escape it later on. Alright, we also got a Auspicious Starix fitting with our mutate theme. Outer Gargroth, just a good card all around. Iridescent Hornbeetle was the other part of my early access deck with the Oran-Rief Ooze. Still think it's pretty sweet. Fun card. Obviously not super strong, not busted as Scoot Swarm or anything like that, but it is a nice little card. 5 mana, 3/4, beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 insect token for each +1 counter you put on creatures under your control this turn. So you can imagine if you escape a Palukinos with 12 counters and you have a Hornbeetle in play, well, you go to your end step, you get 12 insects. So that's seems pretty good. Vivian, just a solid Planeswalker here, making 3/3 beast tokens, and -2 to potentially put additional creatures onto the battlefield. Kogla gives us another removal in the form of a creature. When it comes down, it fights a creature you don't control. When it attacks, we can destroy an artifact or enchantment on our opponent's side. So that gives us some additional removal as well. And you can return a human you control to give it indestructible until end of turn. I believe Oathsworn Knight is the only other human in here, which actually kind of works well because we can reset the counters on our Oathsworn Knight. We also have the Great Henge, which obviously puts counters on our creatures, gains us life, draws us cards. Stone Coil Serpent and Wildwood Scourge scale really, really well. Wildwood Scourge obviously will get counters on it for everything but the Grakmaw and the Palukinos, so that's pretty sweet. And finally here we have these spell lands with Turntimber Symbiosis and Aghadeem's Awakening. These are spells that can be played as a land as well. If you pay 3 life, you can also have it come in untapped, so having the upside is pretty fantastic. So you can see why these are mythics. Obviously the spell side is super expensive, but it is very powerful effect, and especially having this be a land or a spell, and just having that modal choice is pretty amazing. And in Brawl, you need all these kind of flexible and versatile modal type cards as possible, and I think that's where these kind of cards are really going to shine, is in the Brawl format. But even standard, some of these cards can do some pretty sweet things. Turntimber Symbiosis, 7 mana, you can look at the top 7 cards, put a creature from among them onto the battlefield. If its mana cost is 3 or less, enters with 3 additional +1 counters on it. That's pretty sweet. Then Aghadeem's Awakening lets us get creatures back from our graveyard. You return any number of target creature cards that have different converted mana costs X or less. So this is fantastic in the late game. Getting us, say if X is 5, you can get a 5-drop, 4-drop, 3-drop, a 2-drop, and a 1-drop all back. So if your opponent's got all the removal in the world, you top deck this, or you have this in your hand and you're getting close to getting maximum value off of it, then you can just do this and just refill the board very quickly. Or if you just play it as a land. Since we have all these powerful X spells, sometimes you just want to do that. Especially if your opponent's not running a ton of removal, they're just trying to do their own creature thing. So it works well either way. Mana base, Castle Lochthwain, 7 Swamp, Castle Garenbrig, 9 Forest, Jungle Hollow, Temple of Malady. Utility lands here, Bonder's Enclave, gives us some card draw in the late game. We should have some nice BV creatures. Command Tower, of course, is a must in a multicolored format like Brawl. Crawling Barrens is an interesting new card here. Haven't played with it yet, but seems like it fits in nicely here. Taps for colorless, or we can pay 4 to put 2 counters on the Barrens and have it become a may have it become an elemental creature until end of turn. So it keeps the counters on it, so you can just keep sinking mana into this if you had nothing else, if you're just top decking lands in the late game or something like that. And it is a May ability, so if you're thinking your opponent's horned up removal, you can just decline. You still get the counters on it, and eventually it's going to get really big, and then you can kind of swing in with it. Especially it works well with Menace or Trample. Those cards that give our +1 counters creatures, Menace, and Trample, that's pretty sweet. And then Fabled Passage. All right, that's the list. Jumping into some matches. Alright, up against, what's his name again? Ora, Skyclave Hierophant. That's the Cleric Lord. It's pretty top heavy, and we're missing double black for the Oathsworn Knight. So, cool mulligan, try to find something a little bit more castable. I'm missing black, but, I mean, these are all playable cards, so we'll try it. See if we want to Scourge here for 1 or try to hold off and do it for 2 maybe. We're in Orzhov, so I'm not sure how many enchantments that we're running. We got an Ooze, so let's just roll with that. And then we can Scourge for X equals 2 next turn. Try to save this inscription for when we actually need it. Alright, is it worth attacking in here? Let's test the water. We can Inscription if we have to. Nope. I think I'd rather just Grakmaw, and then we can Scourge now for 3. We can also use a Gemrazer Hardcast, or if they have some... I mean, they're in Orzhov, so we should probably be a little bit mindful of using the Gemrazer as a mutate. Decent chance of running like Banishing Lights or Pacifisms. Something like that, but you know, Orzhov could be just running like a Cauldron Familiar. As if we haven't seen enough of that card. Okay, opponent. You're good. You attack in? No? Alright. Well, we're going to attack. We are going to attack. Jump block? Yep, you got it. Obviously, Heartless Act doesn't do... doesn't get rid of the Cleric here, so we'll just play our Scourge and just try to go wide. Heartless Act their Aura, if they just try to tap out for that. Uh-oh. Opponent's going off over there. Oh, they're going to get do a bunch of crazy things. Let's attack. I think we'll kick our Inscription here. Let's get them for damage first. We'll kick. Counters, gain, fight. We'll put the counters here. Target me. You fight you. So it's a 5/5. It's going to fight there. Cleric, kill it. We'll put it in our command zone. When it dies, makes a 5/5. Sweet. So we can cast that next turn since we're at 5 mana. Oh, Lurus. And I get to cast it again. That's pretty obnoxious. Alright, we have Heartless Act though. I think we want a Heartless Act. Let's go ahead and stack, see what they do. Do nothing. We have a... I think we want to eat that Cauldron. Don't want to give him any hope of getting that back. Opponent down to 2. Pass. They have nothing they can cast with Lurus, so I don't think we have to kill that now. That 2 life, I'm not sure they can attack. They have a life. They have 4 life link. And Bastion. Nice. They get a 1/1. They don't have reach or flying. Speaker of the Heavens doesn't really do it, so I think we got him. I think we just flash in Batra and just kill him in the air. Opponent attacking in. Alright, we'll let him gain 1. I don't think we actually can kill them just yet. I didn't think they were actually going to attack. Some options here. Garruk can give trample on our Gemrazer can kill the Bastion. I don't think that really matters. Which is Garruk and trample, and I think that's GG's. We have trample, my dude. We'll go ahead and eat the Lurus while we can, just in case. I have 1 card in hand. They could have a kill spell. They do not. Alright, we get them with trample damage. Sweet. Up against Thassa. I'm not sure how good she is as a Brawl commander. I guess we're about to find out. So cool how the token, the Hydra's coming out of the, it's like regrowing from the dead body. Well, Command Tower gives us our black source, so yeah, we'll keep it. Stone Coil for 2, I guess. There we go. And get a 2-drop or 2/2 out. Probably just Ooze, I think. Get a Great Horn to get some lands though. We'll see. I mean, they're mono blue, so I can have a ton of removal. Some enchantment removal maybe. So we just kind of go wide here. Probably a little bit better than just trying to stack up mutations. 3 mana and go. Well, that sounds fun. Maybe we just Grakmaw here. If they want to counter, I'd rather counter that than the Ooze. There's the counter magic, as expected. Right, 2 lands and a 1-drop. Not too worried about that. So just mono blue control in Brawl. Are you trying to mill? Okay. You're trying to use Thassa to play mono blue mill in Brawl. This takes all kinds, huh? Just Nissa. Nissa seems pretty good. Take that action, swing 5. Not too worried about this Apprentice. They do have 1 mana with a altar. They don't have good blocks though. Thassa and start flickering this Overwhelmed Apprentice and mill me out with that. Keeping our Nissa in check. She can also get creatures back, so whatever you mill, we can potentially just get it back with Nissas. Uh-oh, Cloudkin's here. Holding up more counter magics? Nope. I'm getting all the card draw over there. And all the card draw. X4. Do we want to attack? Or decline? I think we can wait a little bit to try to set up our board state some more. Here comes Thassa. Assume they're going to be drawn cards. They have 4 cards in hand, though, so maybe they'll just go for the Apprentice. Shadow Spear? Huh. I mean, Shadow Spear is like never a bad card, but if you're just running a bunch of 1/2s, 2/1s, and 1/1s, I'm not sure how good Shadow Spear really is. But now that they kind of dumped out 2 cards, I'm sure they're just going to go for the card draw here. You're actually trying to decide, really? You're the Scry? Then I'd rather just draw a card, but that's just me. Okay. Sorting party for no reason here. You're tapped out. I don't know what that was all about. 5 manas. I guess the puppet is giving them priority. Like, dude, you don't have to hold priority every single time. I'll go ahead and mutate on the Stone Cold, make it a little bit bigger. Also 3/4 with 2 counters on it, so that's pretty good. Reach, trample, protection, get a second swamp down, seems pretty good. Oh, landfall trigger. What's going on? Well, -5. Questing Beast. We're really milking this. They're pretty much on the defensive. I mean, they can Shadow Spear, but their creatures are so small. Don't think we really care. So if you want to kill Nissa, that sucks. But I mean, our board state's pretty good. You can't block Questing Beast. We got Trample on the Greathorn. The Ooze means we're going to be doing some serious damage next turn. 2 cards in hand. Don't think you have good attacks. So they're at 13 at least. Probably more for trample damage. You kind of have to make some decisions here. You can easily block the puppet on the Scourge and then just exile it. Looks like our opponent's gonna try to hold out, see if they can make something happen next turn. No, they just gave up. Sweet. Alright, against Rada. Should be a pretty tough matchup. We'll give it a try though. We'll try it. It's a little slow. We do have the manas though, looks like. We're going to play this as a Lance as an opening hand. Same thing with a Turntimber here. Command Tower is pretty good. Still play that though. Next we'll Harbinger into Shadowcat. Or we could Grakmaw too. We'll see what our opponent's up to. A Lotus Cobra. That's pretty nasty. Could also Garruk here. That would be pretty good. Give our Harbinger +3/+3 trample. You just gonna Rada here? Or you got something else? Solemn Simulacrum. I guess Garruk is decent. Then next turn we have Inscription with Kicker. Seems decent. I'll block with Simulacrum just to draw a card, of course. Okay, you can attach it to one of your creatures. Lotus Cobra. Got the pickaxe. Yep, Simulacrum is just there to get lands, draw cards. Yeah, they can pass priority opponent. There we go. We're going to plus. I mean, the Cobra can be pumped up with the Skyclave to give it 5 plus 3, yeah. That's alright though. Yeah, draw your card. We gonna draw a card too? I mean, ooze, right? Want to see the ooze? So a little awkward here with all these 3 and 4 drops. Still might just Inscription though. Okay, I can do a ton of damage with their Lotus Cobra now. If they attack Garruk, that's damage that's not going to our face. Use your 1 failed passage to pump your Cobra up twice, just to kill Garruk. And we could run into Evolving Wilds too, but it's not obviously as good. Lots of manas. A lot of cards in hand. There's definitely definitely have the advantage over there. Terror of the Peaks. 2 mana open still. Alright, well, we're definitely kicking this Inscription to deal with the Terror. Down goes Garruk. I figured that was going to happen, but maybe it's still worth it, maybe not. Inscription with Kicker. All 3 modes. Counters. Me. Target creature you control. Creature you don't control. Alright, so that'll be a 6/4 and it still dies. We would lose our creature. I'm not sure that was worth it. But yeah, they're probably just gonna take over the game here with Terror of the Peaks and any landfall triggers. And we're pretty light on actual hard removal. So we got 2 landfall triggers. We got a hit for 6. Let's make a couple manas here. Let's play Rada. Finally, maybe. Arcane Signet. I'm not sure what the point of Arcane Signet is. You have some big spell you want to play to actually get value off that? Why not just get Rada on the board and start sifting through lands? I don't know. 6 manas here. We're basically just dead. Murderous Rider gives us a chance. So we could have attacked first, see what we drew. Might have been better. Landfall trigger. Ugin. Why are you playing Ugin in Brawl, dude? Come on. Dude, that's so stupid. That was a decent game. I mean, we almost kind of gave ourselves a little bit of opportunity there with the Murderous Rider, but Ugin's such a stupid card, dude. It's Brawl. Like, come on. That's so stupid. You don't get any rewards for playing Ugin in your Brawl deck, dude. You just... It's a casual, fun format. Like, come on. So they were just down to Rada, which is going to hit something for 3, which can kill one of these, probably the Ooze, or they can hit our face for 3, and then they swing So that's 8, 12. So we can say no blocks, but then they have a Rada back. Do we have enough to kill them? We're down to 3, so we could, yeah, we can still Murderous Rider and go down to 1, and then we attack. If our creatures are still on board, that goes up to 4. Plus 4, that's 8. Plus 7. Yeah, that's 15. So we would have had lethal. We could have. Depending on how they sequenced the Terror of the Peaks activation trigger, we could have potentially actually killed them. But yeah, they wanted to be done play Ugin. Well, actually, Ugin would have on that board. Probably, I guess you just plus and just hit us for 3, and then hit us for 3 again with Rada. So we go down to 9, and then you're swinging 9, and we have to block. So we would. Can't block the Terror, so we're at 9. We're taking 5 down to 4, and we still have 2 mana or 2. We still have a life to play the Murderous Rider. So if they left our creatures alive, then we would have been able to kill them. And I assume they would have just gone face with the Terror of the Peaks. But yeah, just playing Ugin is just, come on, dude. I'm not playing against that card. It's bad enough that it's legal and standard, but come on, like, well, try hard and Brawl. That's hilarious. All right, well, that was pretty fun. Let's go over the list one more time a little bit. So yeah, if you're just kind of going for the +1, if you just look up +1 counters and just try to go all in on that, it's not going to be very good. You just kind of have to get the ones that actually matter. And I think we've kind of identified all those in this particular list. We're a little bit light on removal, so maybe you could maybe shave off 1 or 2 creatures, like maybe the Oathsworn Knight is just a little bit too janky, and should just be like another kill spell, maybe in just like Murder, maybe I don't know about Eliminate, but maybe something else, but like Murder is pretty safe option. There's another couple other options. We have some new kill spells. And Zendikar Rising, that one you can pay life. I don't know if that's worth it. Inscription of Ruin, maybe. Because we do have lots of creatures we can get back with the return creature mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And then making your opponent discard 2 cards could be pretty rough for certain opponents. And destroying creatures mana cost 3 or less. I think 3 is just barely. If it was 2 or less, then I don't think this would be worth it. At all, but maybe this could be find some room for this, and just some other kind of removal spells like that. Like modal, I think modal cards are obviously just really good options here in Brawl in general. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the list. I think the mutation thing is kind of a way to go, just giving you some more kind of options for some like flexible removal with Gemrazer and a Dirge Bat. And yeah, otherwise to kind of put counters on things as well, with Essence Symbiote, Glowstone Recluse, and things like that. Just trying to squeeze out the +1 counter synergy kind of wherever we can, and then surround it with actual good cards like Questing Beast, Nissa, and Elder Gargroth, just things like that, and kind of supplement our strategy. Maybe Kogla just a little bit too cute here at 6 mana to try to kill something, and then also destroy artifacts or enchantments. The upside is obviously fantastic, and I think we kind of need stuff like that if we're going to be kind of focused on creatures. But yeah, so there's a little bit of room to kind of tweak this still maybe, but I think this is pretty close to where you want to be running a Grakmaw list, in my opinion. I don't love having 1-drops, but I think just does just enough to be playable here. But you can also just shave this off. Maybe it's too slow, not quite good enough. I mean, Brawl is kind of a little bit of a slower format, or usually is. So I think this is a fine option, but maybe this should be a kill spell or different creature maybe, but. Overall, yeah, pretty happy with the list. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, make sure you jank with purpose.